Praggnanandhaa is taking things in his own hands for his journey of reaching the candidates. Now, Pragg is comfortably leading the FIDE circuit. He has a huge lead over the other players and could very well win it by just sitting as is. Maybe others won't do well. But imagine someone does exceedingly well. For example, Nodirbek wins the London Chess Classic, becomes the World Rapid Champion, becomes the World Blitz Champion. Maybe Praggnanandhaa is in some trouble. And so Pragg decided that I'll go to the London Chess Open, which is happening right after the World Cup, and I will play there. And he cannot take part in London Chess Classic. That's an elite event because it's not an open tournament. So the FIDE circuit has certain rules, and Praggnanandhaa's open tournament is yet sort of open for him to increase his points. So he said, let me play the London Chess Open. And when he decided on that, he became the top seed of the tournament, and that too by a 150 point margin. His second seed in the tournament is Velimir Ivic with 2618. I think there's Daniel Yufa, and the fourth ranked player is an Indian GM, Pranav Anand. First 3 rounds, Pragg won. In fact, in round 1, Pragg had a huge scare. He was almost going to lose his game. In this position, if the opponent had played Bishop G1, actually White is winning. Instead, he blundered and Pragg went on to win that game. Guys, I want to kind of sort of deep dive into this position and tell you why Bishop G1 was winning. So, after Bishop G1, you are threatening to win this pawn, then take on G7 and then come back to C7 to stop this. So, the only logical try is C3. I take, you play C2. And now I take with a check, King H6. And I'm pretty sure that Stanley Badakhshani saw till here. But here comes the incredible move. You may want to pause the video and think, what should White play here? The move is the brilliant Bishop D4. You allow your opponent to queen, and look at this mating pattern with the bishop, knight and rook. And there's just no way to stop Bishop G5. In fact, you have a queen here. There's no check because I just take it. Rook B5 is like the only move. And then you play check, takes, again a mate. So queen takes. And now the king is not checkmated, but I have an exchange up and many pawns and it's winning. So Bishop G1 with the idea of taking here was very strong. In fact, in the game, he went BD4 and gave enough time, because now if you go knight E6, Rook G7, King H6, Rook C7. You have to go Rook C7. There's no Bishop D4 to F6 now. And something like Bishop C5 with the idea of queening here is met with this very, by the way, queen would be still met with Bishop F8 and its position is complex, but Rook B7 wins the day as after take. This is, it's still quite complicated, but this is winning for black. So, yeah, if he had found the move Bishop G1 to take here, he would have been in time to win this. Round 2 and 3 are on our channel as videos. You can check them out. There's analysis. And now in round 4, Pragg faced off against Pranav Anand, a young Indian who is born 1 year after Pragg, 2006, and is someone who I deeply believe as a very big talent. Pranav is, just listen to any of his interviews and you will recognize that he's a very, very level-headed boy. Now, Pranav is around 2600 rated, and the question is, how would he fare against a world-class player like Praggnanandhaa? This was a big question on the minds of everyone. And so the game began with Pragg having white pieces. It was a single round day. So, everything was set in, you can say, Pragg's favor. He's the stronger player. He has white pieces. He's in the lead with 3 out of 3 along with Pranav. But the way Pranav played was amazing. It was a Ruy Lopez. And in this opening, Pragg played D3. Maybe he wanted to have a nice game, a slow building game. And Pranav went for this line with b5, bishop b3, and a4 when it was played, bishop d7 was played. It's one of the main moves. Pragg was trying to go c3, and at some point came knight a5, and then you play queen c8 and bishop e6, and then the bishops were traded, and Pragg played his bishop to g5. And this is a typical Pragg moment, because it is in this moment that generally Pragg takes over. His opponents go wrong, and he manages to get this kind of bind in the position. Something like, for example, you play c6, I go rook e1, h6, bishop h4, and then slowly knight e3, knight could jump to f5, c4. It's a very nice, interesting position. But look at Pranav's quick mind. He played d5, and he immediately stopped Pragg from getting that bind. Bishop f6, knight e3, d, c6, taking away the d5 square. And already one can feel that things are not going so well for Pragg. And when Pragg tried to go for this c4 break, in fact, it did feel like he might get something because of the c6 weakness. Very quickly came the move rook a3. And now if queen a3, queen c4, you're already attacking e4, you're attacking b4. And although it's knight versus bishop, it's not really helpful. In fact, Pragg could be in some trouble. So Pragg went rook c3, rook a4, rook c4, rook a3, and they repeated, and it's a draw. So Pragg actually drew his game, and this is the problem with this tournament, for Pragg. He's so higher rated. A draw is also going to impact him, definitely. But he is here not for ratings, he's here for another purpose. He wants to win the tournament, book a spot in the candidates. Tonight I will be doing a video with Prakhar, Chess Numbers India, where we will be discussing if Pragg wins this tournament, is his candidate spot sealed? So that will be something that I'm looking forward to understanding. So there are so many permutations and combinations, always very complicated. Right now in the tournament, Pragg is in the lead with 3.5 points, with I think another 7 players who are also on 3.5. He will face Tomasz Fodor Jr. In the 5th round, and I think Pragg's going to I'm excited for this tournament. I'm looking forward to it. But for now, I think kudos to Pranav Anand for a very, very great show, showing that he can hold his own against the best in the world. And I wish him the best for the tournament. And I also wish Pragg the best so that he can qualify to the candidates. For now, this is Sagar Shah signing off. Bye-bye.